Babe, when I tell you the course of history was forever changed on this day, 247 years ago, by a woman named Lydia, and you probably don't even know about her. Let me tell you the story. Her name is Lydia Darragh. She was born in Dublin, Ireland, got married in Ireland when she was 24 to a man named William. The two of them moved to the United States. They were Quakers, so they were settled in Pennsylvania. Quakers is a type of Christian, and they are pacifists, non-violence. They do not partake in violence. So when the Revolutionary War was popping off, which was the war where the United States were like, girl, England, fuck off. Lydia and William were like, mama, we don't do that, word to God. Lydia was a midwife. She had 5 children. And her eldest son was, in fact, a continental soldier. So he was fighting for, like, independence from England. Fighting against the crown, right? So, although Lydia and William and Quakers were like, we don't take any sides. We're on the side of the Lord. You know what I mean? Non-violence. She, of course, as a mother, is going to, like, hope her son is okay. So here's what happened. The British moved and set up a headquarters in a house literally right across the street from her house. Then, a few days later, they're like, hey, Lydia, we need your house. And she was like, that's crazy. So here's tea. I already sent, like, my 2 youngest to go stay with their relative. I don't think she mentioned the oldest fighting against them. My youngest 2 are like this, like... And she had a cousin that was fighting for the crown and everything, so they were like, it's all raw, like, let her keep her house, it's fine. And they were like, cool, well, listen, we need to have a meeting, so can we use this room? Like, can we use this room in your house later tonight? And she was like, yeah, that's fine. Like, we won't be in the room, it's no problem. So they come back, and they're like, yeah, we need to go ahead and have our meeting, like, everybody needs to go to their own room. And she was like, okay, cool, well, like, it's late. Just, like, knock on the door when you guys are done. Like, I know you're in this room, but I'll be in this room, and I'm probably gonna fall asleep. So whenever you guys are done with your meeting about war, just, like, knock and wake me up. Lydia, a woman of my own heart, was like, girl, I'm not fucking going to sleep. Are you crazy? So she's like this the whole time, and she hears tea. And what she hears is that they're about to go okie doke George Washington in 2 days. And she was like, shit, my son fights for George Washington. Like, that ass George. And so she was like, fuck. Because she's hearing them say, like, girl, we're going to do not sneak attack. Back then it was just like, that's how they did war. But they were going to attack George and her son. So she's like, then she hears that the meeting is wrapping up. She scurries back to bed and is like, I'm sleeping. Man knocks on the door. She lets him knock. Knocks again. She's like, who could it be? Knocks a 3rd time and she's like, oh, sorry. Told you I was sleepy. Told you I was going to fall asleep. You boys are done? Okay. God bless. Be safe. Then guess what? So now, mind you, it has been 247 years, so there's a little bit varying stories. She was either going to visit her 2 youngest kids that she had staying with a relative, or she was going to get some flour from the market. One way or another, she was leaving her little area. So they, like, gave her a pass, like, yeah, that's no problem, like, go get your shit, girl, no probs. And so she's on her walk. Meanwhile, on her person, she wrote down, quit out, but basically she wrote down a little letter being like, hey, diva, you girls are about to get attacked in 2 days. You didn't hear it from me. And so guess what? George and them were fucking prepared for the attack, and the British were not able to beat literal George Washington, babe. Literal George Washington. And so then the British soldiers were like, how did they know about this? How did they know about this? It must have been Lydia and them. So they go back to Lydia's house and she's like, I literally don't know what you're talking about. I was sleeping. And they were like, okay. But rumor has it that I think she and William, her husband, got kicked out of, like, their Quaker area because although they didn't do violence, they, like, helped or whatever. So I guess she was kicked from the Quakes. I don't know. But that is so iconic to me. Girls, this is why I tell you. It's not necessarily bad if you're the nosiest woman in the world. it's not necessarily bad to be a nosy girl. You may fuck around and change the course of United States history. Like, mama, you never know what kind of shit you're gonna hear. So keep those ears open. Anywho, that's the tea on Lydia. But while I was reading about her, I was, she was a Quaker, and they kicked her out. Because she was, leave her alone, it's fine. I fuck with the Quakers to the max, I think. Based on what I've read so far, very good Quakers. Because they're like, listen, we don't fuck with slavery, we don't fuck with war, we love you regardless of your gender, of your race, of your age, who cares, girl? We're all God's children, amen. And I'm like, honestly, Quakers, amen, all right. And they also believe, like, people are inherently good. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's just born bad, The existence of goodness within someone, but because they're Christian, the existence of God within each person. Literally, I'm like, oh my God, Quaker, I person. Like, that's a very Rasta belief. Obviously, the Quakers were first, but like,